Jack Shell with Jay Feldman. It's the Otter PR podcast, the Otter Show, or whatever the heck you want to call it, because we still haven't come up with a clever name for it. I mean, there's only so many things you could call this at the moment, but hey, if you got something, shoot us a note. Let us know. We're talking everything public relations here with the good guy, the good Dr. Jay Feldman, one of the co-founders, along with Scott Bartnick of Otter PR, one of the top public relations firms in the United States, in the world, for that matter, growing rapidly. And we're talking about one of the big things that's not only causing us to grow, but will cause you to grow as well, because that's what we do. We grow you. We are the ultimate people pimps here at Otter PR. This is verification. This is going to get you the likes, the clicks, the podcasts, the top tier publications. Jay Feldman, let's talk verification.
Episode 3, super exciting. Thought we'd give them a treat. Going to do verification, one of the hottest topics that we usually get asked as a PR firm, and one of the greatest lead magnets, because everybody's searching for it. Everyone wants that coveted blue check.
Who doesn't want that?
And it's become kind of a whole division here at Otter PR, and I've become, an expert at it, as will you by the end of this episode, and all of our listeners as well. So
sure.
Should be a lot of fun. We're going to give all the dirty secrets for verification, all the tricks and hacks that we use as a firm to get that blue check mark. And what are some social media platforms that you can get that check mark on? Let's give you a little quiz.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Do you need verification even on LinkedIn?
So LinkedIn actually had a verification program a while ago. I'm not sure they still do, but there was like a LinkedIn leadership program, and they were giving executives, the Elon Musk types.
Right, your hot shots.
Yeah, the ability to disseminate news that reaches a lot of people. But LinkedIn verification nowadays isn't really a hot topic. People aren't asking about it. It's not really a thing.
It's all about the Twitter. It's about the Instagram. Those are the two main guys that you want the blue check mark with.
And now Jack's favorite platform, TikTok.
TikTok.
Right?
I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm legally too old for TikTok. If I start getting on TikTok, people start calling the authorities.
We've been trying to get Jack to do dancing videos here in the office.
You also don't want to see a middle-aged white guy dance, but, that's neither here nor there. Verification on Twitter and Instagram, when you get that, this is what makes you the real deal.
Right. Verification nowadays is kind of the ultimate symbol of thought leadership, of credibility, of authority. If you have that blue check, it means that you've done something. You are somebody. And I think that's the reason a lot of people want it. It validates their business. It validates that person as a personal brand. And it gives you a lot of other cool kind of abilities too, right? If someone DMs me and they have a blue check,
you're going, whoa.
Chances are I'm at least going to open and read that DM, whereas the flood of the DMs that I get from unverified accounts, I usually don't even open them up. But verification, you can pretty much get into anybody's inbox in the world. Your comments stand out among other comments because they see that verified comment. And for advertising, it's a superpower, right? If you're seeing an advertisement from a verified company or a verified account,
it's legit.
It's legit. You can trust that product, that service a little bit more. So in terms of ROI, that's a big question people ask. Is it worth it to invest all of that money into verification?
Okay, so you say worth the investment, worth the money. Was some guy like standing on the street hiding blue check marks in his jacket pocket? Hey, want to come up here and get verified? No, it doesn't work like that? Or no, we have to go through our Otter PR to take care of business here. Do it the legit way.
No, so there's a few different ways to get verified, right? And we'll talk about a few different ones. And at the end of this, if people listen, I'm going to give you the super speed free hack to getting verified.
Oh, take notes again.
Yeah, and this is a way a lot of accounts have gotten verified with less than 1,000 followers that are hardly active, and it gets them verified on Twitter, gets them verified on Instagram. So seriously, this is a massive secret. A lot of people take advantage of if they're in the right time and place to do so. So we'll talk about that towards the end to encourage listeners to stick around for this.
I'm even going to take notes because I want my blue check mark back. I used to have one, but they took it away from me, Jay.
That's pretty hard to do. I don't know about Twitter, but Instagram, it's actually pretty hard to lose a check mark.
I didn't lose it. I never had one on Instagram. I wasn't cool enough. But I did lose my blue check mark on Twitter, and that's because I didn't keep my nose clean, and I got involved in a conversation which I should not have. But hey, you live and you learn, right? We've talked about this step before in crisis management. And, I've learned my lesson the hard way. Don't you screw up yourself and lose your blue check mark once you get it, because it may not be so easy to get it back.
Yeah, I assume once they take it away, it's probably gone for good.
So let's get into the dirty business here of the verification process. How does this work, Jay?
Let's do it. And before I kind of get into strategy, let's talk about what the check mark is and why they give it out, because that's going to be super important to keep in mind as we learn about how to actually get one. So that check mark is assigned to accounts to basically protect them from impersonation.
Okay.
It's the only reason that they give that check mark out is so that impersonators who are making accounts with the same name and pictures, you can tell them apart from the actual celebrity, from the actual company, from the actual reporter.
And it happens all the time. You'll see some celebrity going, this is my only Instagram account. Don't go looking for Taylor Swift 14. It's only Taylor Swift 13.
Yeah. And this is actually a common strategy people used to use to get the check mark. They would create their own impersonator accounts and say, look at all these people impersonating me. I should have a check mark.
That's actually kind of clever.
It is kind of clever. Yeah. It doesn't really work anymore.
Okay.
But can't hurt. If you're applying for verification and you're not as significant as you probably need to be, maybe you can make some impersonator accounts. Might speed up the process. But anyways, kind of getting back into the meat of the verification, why they assign it. You, one, need to be at risk for impersonation. So you have to be somebody, right? You have to be a significant company. You have to be a significant thought leader or brand. So a big question is, can I get my meme account verified? Can I get my pet's account verified? And
really?
Yeah.
You can verify a pet account?
Not really. I've seen it. It happens. There are significant enough animals in the media that warrant a verification. But in general, if you come to me and say, can you guarantee verification for my cat? My answer is going to be no.
There's a zillion cat videos. How do you even consider that? But that's funny.
It is. So the significance and the risk of impersonation is real. No one's going to be impersonating the cat, most likely.
More than likely, no.
I'm sure it's happened.
Yes.
So back to what it takes to get verified. You need to be at risk of impersonation. You need to be significant. So that means media coverage. And that is the number one factor that they will take into account once you apply for verification. It's what are people saying about you in credible media publications. And these aren't just quotes or interviews. These are going to be feature articles that they need to see. Yeah, incredible news publications, things like CNBC, things like JPost, things like Forbes. Publications that are legacy, that are also verified on social media, and needs to be feature articles. It's a really common question, common theme. They need to have your name in the title. It needs to go into demographic information about you. Where were you raised? Where did you study? What do you do? Those publications really need to talk about you in significance.
And I'm dealing with this with one of my clients in particular right now. We're trying to get him more coverage. He's still kind of in the embryonic stage of becoming a thought leader in his field. And we've gotten him several pieces of mid-tier ink right now. But in order to get him on the big podcasts, the ones that have over 1 million listeners, they're looking at things like, well, the guy's got an okay story, but he only has 1,500 followers on his Twitter. And it's private. So I reached out to him and said, hey, take that lock off that Twitter account. Let's start putting these links to the articles that we're getting you published in and put them out there. Start engaging with your followers. Shoot, maybe hire a social media manager to take care of that for you. And that will build your followers, and that will give you the ROI you're looking for, and that will get you going, and we will be able to get you the top tier ink, the top tier podcasts, and it's all starting from this little blue check mark.
Jack, you said a couple of important things that I'm going to pick out of that and apply it to verification. One was mid-tier articles.
Okay.
Getting them some coverage.
Yeah.
And this is another common misconception and a strategy a lot of people will try to use to get the verification, which is publishing feature articles on low to mid-tier publications that don't have their own verification on social media, do not fulfill journalistic standards, basically allow you to free publish whatever you want.
Right.
And then people try and submit those for verification. Like, look who I am. I'm somebody. I qualify. And they know better.
Not yet.
Yeah, those typically don't work. You do need at least high mid-tier, top-tier publications that maintain high journalistic standards. And if you're paying for this type of press, it's very expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, so very important to keep in mind. If you're going to be buying feature articles from a reputable or a non-reputable PR firm or media company, make sure that those publications are also verified on social media. Good way to check.
Duly noted. So now what? Now what?
Sure. So now that you have the media coverage, actually, let's go back one step further because you said something else that was important.
Okay.
And that was followers and private account status.
Right.
There's a couple of other things that you need to do to get that verification, more than just the feature articles and more than just being somebody and being at risk of impersonation. And that's your social media account needs to look active and look like it should be verified.
It has to be alive.
It has to be alive. You need activity. They do want to see followers. There's no minimum number that they list, but we like to see our accounts over 10,000 before we submit them. And they also need to be public. They also cannot use pseudonyms or hide their real name because, number one, it needs to be a risk of impersonation. So they need to be using their real legal name, and it needs to be an account that features them. It can't be, Jack, if this is your account we were trying to get verified, and all of your posts were dogs and food.
That's not going to get me anywhere.
No, it needs to be an account that represents you. So very important for people to keep in mind.
No one's going to identify or verify your cocktail or your pizza at lunch.
No. And granted, there's exceptions to every rule, but if you're trying to get verified, man, you need to be public. You need to have some followers. You need to post thought leadership content that is about you.
Right on. And, make it active, engage, and make it a living, breathing online organism. And that will, eventually organically gain more followers, more traction, because you're putting out articles, you're putting out pieces that people want to retweet and people want to look at and share with each other. And then that just overall builds your presence online.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about some strategies, right? How do you actually get the media coverage?
Do tell.
One, you could do it the organic and free way, which is to try and really be famous. Reach out to reporters, reach out to journalists, see if they want to write about you. Musicians, artists, actors, those are a little bit easier. Entertainment features are much easier to get. But you can also work with an agency like us who has really strong relationships with the publications that do have high trust, high journalistic credibility, and that you can submit for verification with a lot of success.
We know the people. We've got the ends. So if you need that extra edge, contact us here at Otter PR. We got the key, the secret to the blue check mark. What else, Jay? How else do you get this? I mean, the criteria for Instagram, is it different than Twitter?
So Twitter, we actually don't touch. They don't have a self-submit process.
Really?
Yeah, you can email their like community team and say that you need it.
I found that it's easier to get verified on Twitter than it is on Instagram.
It used to be, but we don't have a standardized process that we follow for Twitter.
Okay.
Same thing's true of TikTok. They change their process pretty much every few months. It's such a new platform,
right?
That we can't really guarantee it. But the number one thing that all these platforms have in common is that they look at media coverage. Yeah.
So you got to get the ink first. Or in front of a camera or something or another to verify that you are worth verifying.
It's true. You need the press first regardless. That's rule number one. And unless you follow the hack at the end of this video.
So rule number one, get the press first.
Get the press first. And you can either do that by being somebody and being really significant enough for people to write about you. Elon Musk doesn't need to hire a PR agency to get feature articles about him.
No.
People just want to write about him.
Of course.
So super important to keep in mind. You need to either really be somebody, which is much harder to do than to work with somebody like us. And you can get a guaranteed verification package through us if you meet some minimum qualifications.
What would those be?
One, you need to be somebody that we can verify. If it's the cat, we can't guarantee it.
Pretty much no.
If you're in industries that are banned or flagged, such as cannabis, pornography, gambling, those are industries where we cannot guarantee verification and likely won't be able to take that on.
Okay.
Now, if you're a legitimate thought leader, if you're a musician, if you're an athlete, good chance we'll be able to do this for you and do it quickly with a guarantee. What that guarantee looks like is you pay a lump sum, we do all of the press, we submit all of the press, and then we actually do the submission for verification through our back-end portal, which is a portal that was assigned to us by Facebook so we can get directly in touch.
Wow.
Yeah, with their team. We have a point of contact there, so it goes directly to him. He reviews it, decides whether they meet the criteria for verification or not.
So we know how to get the right articles in front of the right eyes, and then it to the right guys at the social media platforms that carry the coveted check.
Exactly.
Okay.
Whereas the alternative to that is submitting it through the front end, because you are able to do that. Basically going on your Instagram account, clicking settings, request verification, inputting that form, put in your name, upload a picture of your license and some of your press, and that'll go to a much different place. That will go to first a robot, which will screen your information, and the robot will decide if you deserve verification.
And 9 times out of 10 will say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That other 1 time out of 10, it will pass to a human, and the human, 99 out of 100 times, will several weeks later say, no, you don't get this check mark. It does work from time to time. So if you have sufficient press, you are somebody, you are going viral, then it's a good idea to go ahead and self-submit. And if you're going viral, that's the time to do it, which has happened to my friend, Dr. Elvis Francois.
Elvis Francois.
Yeah, he's one of my surgeon friends.
Okay.
He's the singing surgeon.
Well, see, that's clever. He's got a gimmick.
He's got a gimmick. He went super viral last year. Requested verification, was verified pretty much instantly.
Wow. Well, because he probably got a lot of coverage, because that's a unique thing, and people would like to watch that online.
Yeah, he was on Ellen. I mean, he had coverage.
Wow.
So it takes a really it takes a lot of coverage in order to do this. And going viral is one of the main ways to do it. The other way is obviously work with us. It's not quite as quick of a process. Typically, it's between 3 and 6 months. If you work with a PR agency like us, that gives us time to write all the press, submit the press slowly enough to look natural, and then do those submissions. If that submission is rejected, we go back, we do more press, and we resubmit.
It takes time. This doesn't come overnight. So you're not going to be able to walk in and go, hey, I want verification right now.
Now, verification is one of those things that takes time and is very expensive, unfortunately.
Really?
Because the quality of the press that you need to get verified is very expensive.
Yeah, true.
But again, it's better than wasting your time and money trying to do this with cheap articles, do this with people who are saying they'll submit you, but there's no guaranteed refund, there's no guarantee. I'm on calls every day with people who have been scammed. This is one of the most common and rampant scams in PR.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, there's websites that say they'll submit you through their portal for $100, $200. But again, no guarantee, no refunds. You don't even know if they're actually submitting you. It's a crazy thing.
Well, how do we guarantee that for our clients? How do they know that we're submitting them?
Because their money's protected. If they don't get verification at the end of that 6 months, they get a complete refund and keep the press.
See? That's why you need to come to us here at Otter PR. We guarantee it for you.
Yeah, and making people feel really safe and guided through the process is most of the battle.
And we do that with all of our clients anyway. You know, we take everybody by the hand around here and give everybody that feeling of assurance that they're getting the coverage that they are asking for.
Exactly. And half of the battle is making them feel safe, because a lot of them have been burned, and it's horrible and sad to hear. Scott, our business partner, did this. We went through this journey a long time ago where we learned the entire process.
Right.
We worked with every reputable source, agency, provider that does anything related to verification to see who was reliable, what they were doing, and got burned a few times. We did our best to, protect our financial investment, paying securely through PayPal and credit card. Most of the time we ended up getting our money back, but you would be surprised how many clowns are out there. Just thieves trying to burn people. So it's really important that if you're thinking about investing in this, to do it with a reputable agency, one that's ideally USA based with a face that will take your money via a protected payment method.
And there are some very shady online outfits out there. I mean, boy, I've dealt with some businesses on the internet before. I go, hey, I want to buy this. And then you get to the website and you go, not so much. So we look legit, and we are.
Absolutely. So let's run through a couple of the platforms.
Yeah.
There's Facebook, there's Instagram. We can help with those two. TikTok is another one. YouTube for artists only. Now, Facebook and Instagram, as you probably know, Facebook owns Instagram. So it's the same team that's verifying you. Facebook's actually much easier to get. So if you're interested in verification specifically for advertising, it's a very good, affordable way to go about it. To get
Interesting. Why would someone need Facebook verification?
One, a news outlet, which actually a little bit harder to get verification on Facebook. But anyone who's doing any sort of Facebook ads, super high ROI to get that verification.
Sure, obviously.
Yeah, your click-through rates go up, your conversions go up, and you're also able to post in groups, post on the page.
Because everybody's on Facebook.
Everyone's on Facebook.
I don't have Facebook is the new I don't have a TV.
It's the most popular advertising platform. If you're advertising there, go get the check mark. It also legitimizes you as a company and as a brand.
Yeah.
And the press that you need to get verified on Facebook is the same press that you need for Instagram. Instagram's just a little bit more strict and a little bit harder to get. I don't know why, but it's just the facts. So you can get verified on Facebook with one set of press, and then use that same press to submit on Instagram and get it rejected every time for some reason. But typically with our verification packages, we do both because, again, it's the same press, it's the same portal. It's the same team reviewing it. So if we're doing a good enough job to get you verified on Instagram, you better believe we can get you verified on Facebook pretty easily.
So it's basically, at the end of the day, all about raising that follower count.
No.
No.
No, that's one factor.
There's way more than that.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, it's about being significant and showing them that you're significant. The best way, at the end of the day, it's about press. Follower count supports that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's talk about another one because it's been an increasingly popular topic is TikTok verification.
TikTok.
Which is the fastest growing social media platform on the planet right now.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in verification, now's the time because the sooner you get in, the better. 10 years ago, getting verified on Instagram was a cakewalk.
Yeah.
TikTok is gonna be the same way 10 years from now, just as hard.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Why is it so much more difficult?
I think just over time, people start to abuse the system and find workarounds, so they have to tighten up.
Okay.
And TikTok right now, there's no formal submission process. It all goes through their community team. You actually have to email someone to request verification. And for those interested, I'll actually post the link to that email address in the show notes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the show notes, you'll be able to see the email. And there's only way that you'll do that is if you're listening to this far in the episode. So you're welcome.
And if you've made it this far, congratulations.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think we covered most of the how to get verified and how to submit.
So to recap, be somebody, get the press, submit, go viral. Basically.
Amen. And then there's the last secret to
What
getting
is the
verified
last secret?
quickly and for free. This is the way a good friend of mine, Ryan Bass, got verified.
Anchorman of WTSP television here in Tampa, St. Petersburg.
With less than 2,000 followers, has never spent a penny on PR.
Get out.
And he's got verified on every social media platform, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You want to know why?
Why?
He's a reporter.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. If you report for a publication or a media channel,
it automatically makes you somebody.
That media channel will get you verified. You're at the most high risk for impersonation as a reporter or journalist. Because if a reporter contacts you, no matter who you are, if you're Elon Musk and you get a call from a reporter or a DM from a reporter, chances are you're going to respond.
True. Absolutely.
So journalists, reporters are at the highest risk of impersonation. Another one of our publicists, Danielle Grossman.
Oh, right. Yeah. Freelancer for CNN.
Yeah, works for CNN. Not a lot of followers. Verification on every social media platform.
Wow.
And you'd be surprised how easy it is to get a job as a reporter.
Yes, I do know some people who have questionable backgrounds who have become reporters.
Yeah, being a journalist isn't that hard. It does need to be for a reputable station.
Sure, yes.
And yeah, you probably need to have some journalism background, reporting background. But that is kind of the ultimate secret. And granted, it's not as easy as I may have made it sound earlier.
No.
But it's free and it's quick.
Wow. So basically, you want verification, you need to come to us here at Otter PR. You've heard the secrets. You could try to do it yourself, but it sounds like it would take a long time, perhaps a lot more money than you would even spend with us. And the chances of you actually getting the blue check mark are slim to none. So why not go to the experts? And we have the team and the resources here at Otter PR.
Absolutely. And the value of that blue check mark can't be understated. You can get in anyone's inbox. You're automatically kind of validated as a brand, whether that be a personal brand or a company. Your ROI on ads is going to go up. The relationships that you'll build because of it will go up. So even though it's expensive, even though it's time consuming, I definitely recommend it for most companies that have the finances to be able to do it.
Jay, can we get my blue check mark back? I mean, I promise I'll be good.
Jack, I think you're screwed. I don't think you're ever getting it back.
In more ways than one, my friend. Well, I think we've covered this.
I think so too. I think we hit on most of the important points. I hope you learned some stuff.
I've learned my lesson more ways than one where it comes to verification and being kind to your blue check mark. Feed it, love it, care for it, nurture it, cherish it, treasure it. Be kind to your blue check mark. It will be kind to you.
I love my blue check mark.
I love it.
No one can take it away from me.
Well, thank you again for this insightful discussion about verification. If you have any questions and you're listening to this and you say, hey, verify me, get on to otterpr.com right now. Look us up. We tell you everything you need to know about it right there. And if you haven't checked out our social media channels, please do so, especially our YouTube channel. We have some incredible videos that provide a lot of insight to what we do here at Otter PR. We give you the inside scoop. We give you the backstory as to how to do everything, how to get the ink you need. And again, you could watch those videos and try to do it yourself, but you're not going to have much success. Come to us. We will get you the success you desire. Jay Feldman and Scott Bartnick, our co-founders of this company, know what's going on. We have an incredible team of journalists and publicists and marketing experts that know how to get you the coverage you desire. So it's as simple as clicking at otterpr.com and taking a look at all of our fantastic packages and finding the one that's right for you. And Jay and I and anybody else here will take good care of you.
Thanks, Jack. We'll see you on the next one.
You got it. Jack Shell, Jay Feldman. We'll see you next time.